Hello, everyone. It's Latanya from Latanya Roche Healing Hands. I'm here today to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday today, his celebration of life, and him as an activist, him as um, the embodiment of what he represented, and as well as those who walked and worked alongside him. Today, I want to talk about Miss Nina Simone. That is the name by which she performed. That is the name by which many of us know her. She was born on February the 21st, 1933, as Miss Eunice Kathleen Waymon was her birth name, her given name. And she passed away, left this plane on April the 21st, 2003. I'll be providing a few points in reference to who Miss Nina Simone is. And I say is because she is a living legend. Well, she is a legend, and her memory and her body of work lives on as we go back and revisit her body of work, as well as, who she was as a woman, as an entertainer, as an artist, as all the things that she embodied while she was here. Nina Simone was a songwriter. She was a singer, a pianist, an arranger, and a civil rights activist. She always included songs in her repertoire that drew upon her African American origins. She openly addressed the racial inequality prevalent in the United States with the song Mississippi Goddamn in 1964. The song called for racial relations to change and for more immediate developments. She had a message to the public which signified the transition from nonviolent approach to social change that was advocated by Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And when she said nonviolent approach, it was that everyone was aware that neither the people that she represent, us as a body of people, were not a threat to ourselves, neither to anyone else, which is the reason for her speaking up and being proactive in reference to a nonviolent approach. And for you to gain a greater concept of why she chose a nonviolent approach, you can go back and look at the time in which she lived, the time in which that song was written, and the time in which that song was performed. And I will touch a little bit on that in just a moment. Nina Simone received a Grammy Hall of Fame award for interpretations of I Love You Porgy in 2000. In 2010, a statue in her honor was erected on Trade Street in Tryon, North Carolina. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper into detail here in reference to Miss Nina Simone, who was known by her family as Miss Eunice Kathleen Waymon. The song itself was her response to the June 12, 1963 murder of Medgar Evers, the song Mississippi Goddamn, and the September 15, 1965 bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. That killed 4 young black copper-colored girls and partially blinded a 5th. She said that the song was her way of approaching the change that she wanted to see, which was necessary to alleviate the pain caused by these horrific incidents and events, which seemingly the public could gain no control over, which would lead to a peak, and that peak would be inferiority and anger. In 1967, she recorded The Turning Point, was the name of the album. In 1968, the album Nuff Said, containing live audio feed from the Westbury Music Fair of April 7th, 1968, 3 days after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. She dedicated her performance to him and sang Why the King of Love is Dead. This is how compassionate as well as passionate that Miss Nina Simone was in reference to activism and civil rights activism, and what changing the approach on both sides could potentially do, how it could be conducive to us as a people and humanity as a whole. Alleviating places of mental stagnation in regards to being in such awe by the horrific events that were taking place, and stagnating and creating false evidence that was appearing real, but they were really real events that happened that would oppress and suppress a people to keep them from propelling themselves forward and moving forward in society, as well as the place of civil rights activism. A scare tactic, if you will, not to get too diverse or to dredge up anything that is hurtful. This is also a moment where we can pinpoint a couple of things in reference to copper colored people, as well as mental health awareness. Now, all of the things that, well, some of the things, and one of them, the songs that she actually wrote and performed, meaning that she sang it, was Mississippi Goddamn. And the non-conducive situation that actually birthed that song into existence is a portion of what created her situational, or what she was labeled as having mental health issues. These things and those alike will create places of unorganized thought patterns because of different approaches and different things that happen. It creates blockages in the mind of where one can actually go and feel safe in pursuit of being the change that they want to see. Okay. The lookout point is what I was just sort of speaking about. For this root cause could be Mississippi Goddamn and the chain of events that led up to that song being written, and what happened in the wake of it and each occurrence thereafter, as she sought out self-medication by way of what they called alcoholism. Due to the innavigable times, she chose to self-medicate with alcohol. And due to that, she was labeled as an alcoholic because the public was informed that she drank. So the public placed labels on things, and due to that, she was labeled as an alcoholic. The root cause, again, is environmental harm created by those who created the incidents and adverse situations, which made her, as well as others, feel as if there was no place of rest, no place of peace, no place of comfort. And in those times, and when those things come about, what happens is that we look for ways to comfort ourselves. Okay. Due to all of these situational root causes, because for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, her route of reaction was to self-medicate. And due to that, she was labeled as having a mental health illness. Yet she was trying to be active to make everyone else's reflect on how to be proactive during a time where there was great suppression and oppression. Okay. And because of particular things that happened and created situations, these are situational root causes due to other events that unfolded outside of the control of the people. The people were just left to deal with what actually transpired. She also tended to affairs in Barbados, becoming united in other nations. She actually passed away while she was in France. So that just touches on how diverse and how complicated and how controversial things can become when you're dealing with public relations and the approach thereof, as well as the change that is expected as well as necessary in order to propel us as a people, as a nation forward, and not have to encounter repetitious behavior in reference to opposing factors, along with not being irregularly labeled as far as mental health issues are concerned. We also have to look at, for a means of contrast, the reason for the situation, the root cause of a particular emotion or a particular reaction in us as a people. Because again, for every action, there is a equal and opposite reaction. All right. Again, it is Latanya from Latanya Roche Healing Hands. I just thought that I would come forth and bring that bit of information to celebrate and commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as well as, his body of work and what it is that he stood for, so that he wouldn't fall for anything, and speaking in reference to those who walked and worked alongside and with him. So today's lesson, or today's information that was provided to educate and to give a foundation there, so to speak, was Miss Nina Simone, born as Eunice Kathleen Waymon on, it was, excuse me for this, on February the 21st, 1933, passing away in France on April the 21st, 2003. That is Miss Nina Simone. It is Latanya signing off. Peace.